Oh, happy full moon, everyone. Um, I'm Quinn, and we're Web of Life Animus, and this is the first full moon of 2021. It's a full moon in Leo, and so feline energy, and then some people call it the wolf moon as well. So then there's the canine energy, hence my wolf in the background. So what we have to share tonight, for this full moon. There's two videos and then a few photographs to share. Um, so we're going to do a little bit of uh, time leaping, I guess, into the past, but then also projecting into the future, a couple seasons from now into the summer. So there is going to be a 12-minute video first. And that one, the reason I wanted to play that one is because I noticed that it was the first full moon of a year ago, January. So January of 2020. And when I saw the date on it, I had this feeling of like, oh, partially because the us's back then didn't really know what was coming. Um, Also, to set up the context of this video, is that for years before, we had done a squared 7-circuit labyrinth of lights, like, right angles squared. And then the month before, what you're going to see, so December of 2019, there was an interesting crossing of the ropes of the lights, and it became a different kind of labyrinth, which then I'm to paraphrase, because I'm not speaking for Jacob, but basically Jacob the labyrinth maker then decided it still worked, but it ended up being a different kind of labyrinth, and so it prompted him that it was time to change his methods. And so then January, the one that you're going to see, was the first one that he then went back to how he first started making labyrinths, which is the rounded 7-circuit labyrinth. And so this one is the first one of that rounded one. And then we only had two more after this before COVID hit, and we haven't done another labyrinth for people since this one that since March of 2020. So a couple things to think about, and then we're gonna, after this, then we'll go to moving towards the second labyrinth, shorter video. So something maybe that you might think about, I know I will be when I watch this video, and there is some commentary. You walk along with me, right? So I'm using my phone as I walk, and I didn't watch it before this, so I can't quite remember what unfolds during that labyrinth, but you will hear some words from me. But now in hindsight, it's so different. One, even be able to be in proximity of other people is nostalgic. Um, but also, it might be a time, since this is the first labyrinth of this next year, and now we've seen what's unfolded in the last year, and gosh only knows what's coming in this next year. More COVID for sure, but we don't know what's coming. And so it might be an opportunity to send our minds back to ourselves a year ago. Full moon of January 2020. Maybe there's a message that you want to share with yourself back then. Maybe it's your contemplation is about what you've learned, what you've lost, what has changed, the ways that you've grown. I think this is a good time to assess that, or visit that again before we start zooming through this year. Um, However you want to do the walk, of course, it's your walk. Um, so here we go. I'm sharing my screen. Here we go. Hi everyone, happy full moon. Well, it's in the morning, but you know, fullish moon time. We're holding off the rain. This is all rain cloud, which is not typical of Tucson. It's supposed to rain this evening, but we are asking the rain friends to visit us after we pull up the lights. It's a beautiful evening. It's a good time to ponder your direction and your focus for the next decade. That's a lot to think about. How about the next day? This is the first time in this park, Rio Vista Natural Resource Park, that Jacob has made a rounded labyrinth. The rounded labyrinth was the first labyrinth that he made, and it's the one that we do in our dark moon labyrinth's backyard, in the backyard of our place in Tucson. Hi. But for the new year, he decided to change up his patterns. Make a new shape. So I think that is a good focus for this new time, is changing up our patterns. Hi. That's Jacob, our labyrinth maker, drumming. This is Elizabeth, our blessing maker, drumming. I just realized I hadn't turned on the moon. So now, just for you, we're going to turn on the moon. She is turned on. There you go. coming up to the center, and I'm going to pick a blessing for all of us. In a minute, we'll let this guy do his thing. There's that moon. Okay, what blessing is for us? May you honor what is sacred to you. Yes, I agree with that. I also earlier laid out a number of blessings so that people could see, and multiple blessings, so I will scan these and you could see what seems like a good blessing for you. Okay, friends, here we go out. Center. Hey, in the center, there's blessings faced up around the moon, and then the two round red boxes have blessings in them that you can pick. Like the one on the left still has them in it. You can pick one and take it, okay? You're welcome. Lights to be recharged. Their batteries a little low. So that's something that we could all use some watchfulness. Oop, there's that moon. Watchfulness about in this next phase, which is when are our batteries running on fumes, and we have to figure out a way to recharge one way or another, because otherwise we self-destruct, and that does no one any good. Hello. Moon, hello. It's so interesting that she's coming in and out of the clouds, and really all the other sky is solid. All the other sky is solid except right where she is. she goes again, behind. Hey everyone, these are my little lights. So, we do the Labyrinth walk mostly here, one of the nights of the full moon every month except June. And then for dark moon, around new moon time, we do one in our backyard on Broadway. Ooh, I think the moon is coming back. There she is. I just cheated just a smidge, but good enough. Sometimes you just gotta do something, right? So the moon is behind the clouds over there, and this is our beautiful labyrinth for this full moon. Thank you for being here. That's funny. I totally forgot that I kind of took a shortcut at the end because there were some people, some slower walking folks. Sorry about that, but sometimes I guess you just gotta be done. So wow, yeah, I haven't seen that video in a while. And one thing that strikes me is just the difference about now of how casual it all was of being around other people. Hello, hello. Wow. It won't be like that for quite a long time again. Okay. Jacob, let's see. Could you unmute yourself?
Yes.
All right. So now you would like to set up, I'm going to share my screen, and you would like to set up the next labyrinth, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, we in Web of Life have gone up to the wolf reintroduction area in the White Mountains for 4 years, 2016 through 2019. And for 3 of those years, we were very concerned about wildfires, that there were active fires burning around us, sometimes on both sides of where we were camping, that if the winds had gone a different direction, we would have had to move. But fortunately, when we were there, we had some pretty amazing experiences where the winds died down and maybe a little drizzle came. And so we evaded the fires. In 2019, there was some pretty good snow events in here in Tucson, or maybe a little bit higher, maybe not right here in Tucson, but 1,000 feet higher, it snowed several times, not as much as recently, but enough to just have a white dusting on the ground. And as late as the end of March. And so in that year, there was no fire and danger in the forest. And so when we were up there over the solstice, which will be the next labyrinth.
The next video.
Oh, the next
Next
video
labyrinth
of the
video. Yeah.
right,
Mm-hmm.
right. Okay. So did you have the pictures of the recent snow?
Yes. I was waiting for you to get there. Oh, and so the video that we're going to play, the reason we've been up there, which is linked with the wolf moon, is that it is one of the few places in the country that is a wolf reintroduction zone. And that is why we went up there. And so it's in eastern Arizona. It's a quite a beautiful place, lots of wildlife and wolves. And so the health of that place, as well as the water and the springs, is important um, to Jacob and myself, and Elizabeth for sure. So this, I have a few images to show you. These are from the snow that just occurred here in Tucson, and this is the most snow this is just west of Tucson that I've seen. So, Jacob, what would you like to say about the snow?
I would like to say that events like this, which occurred for several feet up in the White Mountains, are why there are springs. And the reason why the wolf reintroduction area is in that area is because it's close to the Little Colorado River and there are many springs. And
Got to
this
have
is,
snow to have springs.
that's
Mhm.
right. And so many of the springs are snow springs in that the snow that builds up and melts on the talus rocks of the area then drains down and comes out as a spring. So there were a year or two when the Wolf Spring didn't flow because there was no snow. But fortunately, 2019, the last year we were able to go up there, there had been snow, lots of snow, and the springs ran. And so there's definitely that relationship between how much snow falls, how much aspen trees grow and the grasses grow, how many elk are born, and how many wolves are able to find a living on that land. So for this, as some people call it, the wolf moon, it's the snow wolf moon, the happy snow wolf moon is the way I like to think of it. And this year, I believe it will be so.
Yeah, so in a second here, I will play the second video we have. It's just a little over 5 minutes, and partially because I only walk in and then I wanted to walk out in private. And so we walk in together, and it we recorded this video summer solstice of 2019. So my thought is that and also we know what happened last summer, so we weren't able to go up to travel because of COVID. And we also know about the intense fires that happened all around the West this last summer. And so the snow now and the atmospheric river and the snowpack at this time of year, it's like a prayer for less fires, being able to have springs running in 6, 7, 8 months into the future when it's hot. And so this is a prayerful time right now that we get the snow that we need, so that as much of the forests and all the animals that live in these places all around the West are protected. And so this is no feet except for Raven. This is Raven. I think that that's just great. Okay, so I'm going to stop that and start now this video. And one thing I'll say as well is that you'll hear a flute, and that is our friend Dee, who was able to visit us for this labyrinth on that summer. And so she just passed in December. And so it was an extra bonus to have her flute right there. Summer solstice, we're here in the White Mountains of eastern Arizona. And a number of us are here tonight to honor the summer solstice, or the solstice, the winter solstice for those in the southern hemisphere. But we have summer solstice here. And so walk with me. We're at 9,700 feet in elevation. This tree right here in the last of the sunlight is hundreds of years old. And we have our LED lights in the last of the sunset. Just walk with me and set your intentions, offer a blessing, say your prayers, offer gratitude for this crazy, crazy world, and even all of our pain and our challenge, the lessons and the blessings. The flute is by Dee Flowing Waters. She's there in the dark. We're here camping for a number of days through the weekend because this is a Mexican gray wolf recovery area. So there are wolves here. And we are here to energetically protect them and to honor them. To speak up for them. Jacob, of course, made the labyrinth. So beautiful. It was very windy all day today, and now it's peaceful and chilly. I have a down coat on. Here we are in the center. Thank you, stars. Thank you, earth. Thank you, light. Thank you, dark. Thank you, water. Thank you, air. Thank you for the kind breeze instead of the blowing, blustery wind. Thank you, trees, and elk, and antelope, and deer, and wolf, and eagle, and all the beauty is here and everywhere. And thank you for being here with me and watching. I'm I'm going to walk out in a private way, so this is the end of our time together for this moment. May the summer be as kind as possible. Blessings. So something to remember right now is that even though winter may not be everyone's favorite time of the year, that it is important for so many beings. And so what happens now also does affect what happens in as it warms up. So thank you for walking along and putting up with all that bell. Sorry. Elizabeth, do you have a blessing for us at this point?
Yes, the collective blessing is, may this moon give you the energy to do something courageous.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I can totally see that. I think this next year is going to ask us to be courageous in multiple ways. And the wolf is such a powerful ally and kindred spirit, kindred being here on this earth. And they're very important to the web of life. And so uh, we could be courageous for them as well. Thank you all for being here and take good care of yourself until new moon.